Speaker.
The question is the House to now adjourn and give the call to the member for Dawson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, the budget went over like a lead balloon. The budget left the entire nation feeling like they were stuck in the middle of the ocean without a life raft, barely keeping their head above water. Australians all over the country are exhausted from the past 2 years, and they're just trying to stay afloat. Those living and working in my electorate of Dawson are tired. They're tired of trying to navigate and survive this Labor government-created cost-of-living crisis. They're tired of the false promises, and they're tired of being ignored, forgotten about and punished simply for living in a regional area. Through no fault of their own, the people of my electorate are having their dignity ripped away from them. We are seeing a new class emerge: the working poor, the working homeless, the working starving. You can forget about the great Australian dream of home ownership, as there are entire families in my electorate who have lost their homes due to this Labor-created cost-of-living crisis. There are entire families who must now sleep in their car, sleep in the streets, or sleep in tents. Now, even this is going to be more difficult due to the Prime Minister's new farm, family, car and ute tax, which is going to see the cost of cars skyrocket. Mr Speaker, parents are now having to make decisions on whether to feed themselves or feed their children. The elderly must now choose between paying their rent, buying their groceries, or buying the life-saving medications that they need every single day. The Albanese Labor government-created cost-of-living crisis has gotten so bad that families, couples and their individuals are being forced to surrender their pets to rescue and to rehoming organisations because they can no longer feed themselves, let alone their beloved animals. Families, couples and individuals who, even though they have a job, are being forced to visit neighbourhood centres, charity organisations and food banks just in order to survive. The Mackay Neighbourhood Hub is now taking 12,000 Mackay residents each year. To put that in perspective, for everyone in this room, that is close to 10% of Mackay's population. Such soul-destroying experiences are not uncommon. Mr Speaker, the people in my electorate of Dawson are struggling. They're struggling because, for some, their last power bill has gone up more than 50%. This is in relation to the same period last year, despite the Prime Minister promising 97 times that we'd see a 275 reduction in their power bill. They're struggling because we've seen interest rates rise 12 times under Labor. We've seen the worst inflation of any developed country around the world. This Labor government has betrayed our fishers. They have deserted our miners. They have neglected our farmers. They've hammered our tradies and they've abandoned our families. Mr Speaker, the good news is there is an alternative. The great Peter Dutton has a vision for Australia, and if elected, will bring our country back on track. A coalition government will curb inflationary spending, remove regulatory roadblocks that are suffocating the economy and stopping businesses from getting ahead, condense approval processes and cut back on Labor's red tape, which is killing our mining jobs, remove the complexity and hostility of Labor's industrial relations agenda, which is putting unreasonable burdens on business, extend the value of assets for the instant asset write-off to $30,000 and make this ongoing for small business, provide lower, simpler and fairer taxes for all, because Australians should keep more of what they earn. A coalition government will deliver reliable, consistent, clean power by adding zero-emission nuclear power into the energy mix, speeding up approvals and unlocking gas in key basins. There is much more that a coalition government will do for the people of Australia, for the people of my electorate of Dawson. Australia cannot afford another 3 years under this Albanese Labor government.
Authorised by Andrew Wilcox, LNP Mackay.